Hi all, this is Laura again, and I'm supposed to talk. I wanted to make some videos about asexuality. Today is the 26th of October. Today is basically the last day of Asexuality Awareness Week for this year. So I promised I'd make some videos that are talking about asexuality and nothing else. So I discovered I was asexual probably around August or September of 2011. Right about that same time I decided to become a vegan, but that's a whole different topic. All my life I wondered why I never desired to have boyfriends. I never desired to have sex. I never desired to get married or have children. When I was younger, I think as early as age 7, I knew that I was different. I knew I wanted to be a nurse, clear back in those days too. But I knew there was something different about me because I was very uncomfortable with physical expressions of love and affection. I'm not really a kissy person. I'm not really a huggy person, not even with my family. It's not because I'm a cold fish or don't have emotions. It's just awkward for me. It feels awkward to be physical with people. So there was a kid in the neighborhood. I remember, I think my first really uncomfortable situation that made me feel like there's something different about me was a neighbor boy who was a few years older than me kissed me on the cheek. I was only probably around 8 or 9, and he was probably 11, 12, 13 years old, and I was actually quite frightened when that happened. A little bit earlier in my life, I was molested by a relative in my family who I will not name. Some of my cousins were also molested, and they know who they are. You know, they all know who he is, and they know who they are. They don't need to be named. It was me. I don't know if I was his first experiment, as it were, but either me or one of my older cousins was his first in a series of molestation incidents. I am an asexual, and the other 3 cousins that I know of that were molested by him, they all ended up married. Every one of them has children. Most of them are divorced and remarried by this point, but they are all what I consider heterosexuals. This molestation thing did not affect their sexuality or their sexual orientation, and I have come to the conclusion that what he did to me has nothing to do with me being asexual, because all my life I have felt asexual. I am also what I would consider genderqueer. I'm still learning now. I'm not an expert. I'm disclaiming everything right now that I say. This is my personal experience, my personal learning experience. But I don't feel female and I don't feel male. I like glamour, but drag queens like glamour too. I am either bi-romantic or pan-romantic. Most of the time it's like a hetero-romantic situation, because I fall in romantic love with men a lot more often than with women. But sexual, it's asexual. I don't have desire for sex with anybody, but I really like men. I am not a man hater. I'm not one of those women that turns into these man-hating beasts. I love hanging out with guys. I love talking to guys. I know what a good-looking man is. I know what an attractive man is. Just because Brad Pitt's a good-looking dude doesn't mean I want to jump in the sack with him. romantic attraction is just completely different than sexual. Sexual, again, like I said the other day, that is when you're with somebody and you think about, I want to get in bed with this person and I want to do stuff with this person. That's sexual attraction. Romantic could be anything like, oh, he's good looking. I know how good looking he is. I see how good looking his face is. I love his hair. I love the way he dresses. I love his, body, even his figure. But you don't have to want to get in bed with him. So, I'm trying to help people who are curious. I'm trying to help them differentiate. Romantic and aesthetic attraction are very different than sexual attraction. So I am asexual. That's my sexual orientation. As far as my gender identity, I am genderqueer, gender fluid, whatever. I don't go around. I'm more into what's considered womanly stuff. I'm not into, drag racing or football or stuff that traditionally men are into. I'm into what's traditionally feminine. I like makeup. I like glamour. I like quilting. I like crafts. I just like, my hobbies revolve around color, playing around with color, and also with writing. I do like to write books. I'm not a big fan of male-female erotica, but erotica is one of my favorite things in the world. And I have a lot of friends of all sexualities who are the same way as me. I got teased a lot in school, made fun of a lot, but frankly, it was never about my sexuality, because by the time I was in high school, the teasing stopped. And I had a friend, several close friends. They all had boyfriends. I hung out with all of them. We never had any they never gave me trouble. They never made fun of me. I was physically attractive compared to what I look like now. I was much thinner, and I had a nice figure. Guys were interested in dating me and going out with me, but I wasn't interested. I just didn't pursue any of that. There was one guy in my junior year. He was graduating from a different high school, and in my junior year, I had a crush on him, but mostly I was going through a phase where, geez, I'm almost out of high school, and I've never dated. I've never done anything. I just blinkered on this one guy from a different high school about 12 miles away from here, and he wasn't interested in me in return. It was an unrequited kind of thing, but it wasn't, in my opinion, now that I look back in retrospect, it was not based on real attraction or real wanting to be with him. It was based on, I'm getting older, I'm at the dating age, I'm 17, 18 years old, why am I not dating people? I'm abnormal. So I wanted to be with him to establish some kind of a dating life for myself, and he never was interested, so that went nowhere. In my senior year, I went to the prom. It was so important to me to go to the prom, and the guy that I went to the prom with, I think he's a wonderful person, but I was just never attracted to him. He was an absolute doll, and a heart of gold. And I was a little bit conceited at that point, because I had gone on a diet. Back when I was 17, 18, 140 pounds to me was a terrible weight. 140 pounds at 5'2", 5'3", I thought I was a gargantuan, and I wanted to lose weight, so I went on an absolute, just anorexic. I'd eat a piece of toast in the morning with some tea, and unsweetened tea. I'd skip all meals. I'd have a bite or two for maybe dinner, and then I'd go to bed, and I was losing half a pound a day, and I was so interested in being physically attractive.